Hello everyone and welcome. Today's lesson will be about grammar. So we'll be talking about modal verbs. What do we use modal verbs for? We use modal verbs to express ability using can, can't, could, couldn't, advice using should, shouldn't, obligation using must, mustn't, permission using can, can't, and may. First, what is the difference between verbs and modal verbs? Verbs are always needed in sentences. We cannot form sentences without verbs. But modal verbs are occasionally needed in sentences. We do not always need them. Verbs do not need modal verbs, but modal verbs need verbs. Look at these two examples. We have, she can ride a horse, she rides a horse. The first sentence we have a verb and a modal verb, which is can and ride. But in the second sentence, we have only the verb. So here, we don't need the modal verb. Means that the verb can stand by itself in the sentence. Look at these two sentences. She can ride a horse. So here we have a modal verb and verb. But in the second sentence, we have she can a horse. This is not a correct sentence because we don't have a verb. So modal verbs cannot stand by themselves. Ability. We use can, can't, could, couldn't to express ability. Can, can't for the present means we say that something is or isn't possible. Could, couldn't for the past means something was or wasn't possible. Look at the following examples. I can skateboard, he can speak Dutch, she can't play the piano, they can't climb the tree. All of these sentences express ability in the present. The first two sentences, I can skateboard, he can speak, are in the affirmative form. She can't play the piano, they can't climb the tree, are in the negative form. And you can notice that the verb that comes after the modal verbs can and can't are all in the infinitive. Look at the following examples. He could run faster, Andy could go to music lessons, Jack couldn't read well when he was 7. So these three sentences express ability in the past. Means something that someone was able to do in the past. We can use both in one sentence. For example, I couldn't drive the car, but now I can. Means I wasn't able to do something in the past, but now I am able to do it. Advice. Advice is an opinion offered about how you should act in a certain situation. Terms we use to perform an advice are should and shouldn't. Let's see some examples. You don't look well, you should see a doctor. You shouldn't eat junk food, it is not healthy. You should brush your teeth before you go to bed. What you said was impolite, you shouldn't talk to your friend like that. We know that these sentences are performing an advice because we have should and shouldn't. Should is affirmative, shouldn't is negative. And you can see that the verbs that come after should and shouldn't are in the infinitive too. Obligation. An obligation is something which is necessarily has to be done. The terms we use to perform obligation are must and mustn't. Let's see these examples. You must tidy up your room before you leave. You mustn't cheat in the exam. You must be home by 9 o'clock or you will be in trouble. You mustn't go out. It's not safe outside. Must and mustn't express obligation. Means when we use must and mustn't in sentences, we oblige someone to do something or to not do it. Permission. Permission is to ask someone permission to do something or to ask someone to allow you to do something. Terms we use for permission are can, could, and may. Let's see some examples. Can I use your phone? Can I leave now? Here, you are asking someone to do something. The same thing for could. We can say, could I use your phone? Could I leave now? And also may I leave now? May I use your phone? The only difference between can, could, and may is that can is more formal. For example, when you are in a formal situation, like you are talking to your teacher or talking to your boss at work, you use can. It shows formality. But for could and may, they are more polite. When you are in a friendly situation, you use could or may because they show politeness.